I do appreciate you guys coming on, though. It's kind of like I have white Vincent. Well, Katie is white, but like alternate
Katie?
universe Vincent Katie. Yeah. You're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be here.
Who said?
You specifically said, I'm not coming next week. I'm moving.
I said next week I might not be coming. Plan on me not to show up. Depending on how the move goes and how late the moving is going, how tired I'm going, I may or may not show up. Weather is a bitch, and we didn't move a damn thing.
Don't blame you, because fuck that shit.
Dude, I went to Costco and I was literally holding Melissa's drink in my hand. And while I was holding her drink in my hand, my fingers were freezing. It was not it. But I'm happy to be here. I knew Will was here. I didn't know Allison was here. This is the cherry on top of my Saturday.
Well, I had to replace you and Katie. So
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be me and Matt. Now that the fact there's two other people set to talk for the next, 2 hours of my life, easy street for me. Easy street. I'm here for comedic relief and one-liners moving forward, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
And TNA and New Japan.
And TNA and New Japan.
Oh, yeah, TNA's a thing again. That's right.
Yeah. Hard to Kill was tonight, and it was fucking awesome.
I didn't get a chance to watch it just because the stream that I usually watch stuff on legally isn't really reliable when it's live. So I'd rather watch the replay later and not get any issues, any lags or any delays. So I'm probably going to watch that tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
I like how you threw in legally.
Legally.
I do everything legally. There's nothing illegal about me. Everything about me is legal.
Did you add to my thumbnail?
Okay.
Change it.
So I made the thumbnail, right? And I forgot to send it to you. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't create the stream. So then I'm like, oh, let me go create the stream while I was on my phone while Melissa was driving us to Costco. And then I saw, I'm like, I guess Matt must have created the stream. I don't see a thumbnail. Let me add the thumbnail. Maybe he didn't have one. Then I looked at it and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He literally picked the same exact sky blue picture I selected for the thumbnail, except I added the blonde that hangs out with Soraya. I forget her name. I'm sorry.
Mariah May?
No.
The other one, the one with the scissors, the one that's supposedly crazy.
Danielle, Harley Cameron.
Harley Cameron, thank you. Basically always discuss the facts. But yeah, I added Harley Cameron onto it just because I thought there was a lot of empty space to the right hand side.
Yeah, but all we needed was sky blue, and the fact that I got her leaning exactly on the lettering is perfect.
I did the same thing too.
Proud.
I literally did the same thing on the thumbnail. I literally did. Our minds are so intertwined. We both thought of the same thing.
Well, are you guys ready to start the show?
Always.
You do not look confident, Allison.
No, the dog is chewing on the curtains. So I'm trying to get her to stop chewing on the curtains.
All right.
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
Running the intro in 3.
No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to Smack It Raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub, the Smackin It Raw podcast. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter, and I am here with my co-host today, starting because he wasn't supposed to be here, and I actually think I still left Bakley in the tweet, and Bakley's just in the chat. So, ladies and gentlemen, from Floor Slapper Sports, everyone's favorite ginger, Dan Bakley to my left, also joining us. He is the Pornhub Poppy, the Sultan of Spitter Swallow, Daddy Delgado, my friend Vince.
Yo, what's going on?
And joining us from Botched Spots and Chair Shots, she is host of Boss Bitch Trivia. The only reason that channel is up and running as well as it is today, the better half of the Will Allison duo, I guess. It's Allison. How you doing, Allison?
I'm good. How are you?
You're so much more than just a girl. You know that, right?
I know.
Yeah.
You know, what's funny is like I've had that screen name since like 8th grade.
8th grade.
8th grade.
Jeez.
I still have an email from when I was in 8th grade.
That's commitment too.
Never use it. Last but certainly not least, and the only person that I knew for sure was going to be on the show when I started today, host of Botched Spots and Chair Shots, purveyor of Rivet City Radio, and the other half of the DP Boys, the Will Gray.
Mateo, it's good to see you. Allison, you're here. Vince,
See me, amor.
I love you to the moon and back. I'm calling a little bit of shenanigans, but 2-1-1 for the Pornhub Poppy race. I was hoping that I would get in on a 3-way tie, but you showed up, so it's 2-1-1, ladies and gentlemen. 2-1-1. 2-1-1.
Pornhub Poppy race of 2024 that Vince is not co-signed on.
There's no race.
Officially 2-1-1.
If anything, Will has been on a treadmill this year and believes he's on a race. There's no race.
Hold on. I'm going to make it official. I'm going to make an official note right now.
Penny also wants you to know that
HP race 2024. Vince 2.
Katie
1.
1.
And Will 1.
Let's fucking go. Woo! Will Gray for Pornhub Poppy 2024.
We will see how it goes. So here's the deal. The weather in Chicago is a fucking winter hellscape right now. We got almost 14 inches of snow yesterday. The temperatures are damn near 0. I couldn't handle 8, let alone 14. I'll be honest with you, but I took it. I wasn't happy about it, but I took it. Temperatures are damn near 0. They're going below 0 for the rest of the week. I was out in it for 12 hours yesterday, literally out in it for 12 hours yesterday. It fucking sucked. But we're here today. Vince, due to the weather, decided he's not fucking moving, so he showed up when he was going to be off. We all know that Katie is out partying it up, doing her thing. Could not make it this week. She did send me news and rumors, so I have those from her. Still
Beautiful.
Contributing. So I outsourced. I was like, I need what's the next best thing to my favorite Latino, and that's my favorite Jew, the Will Gray. So I hit up Will. He said he'd fill in as always. And then I was like, who's my second favorite female in the content creating space? And if it's not Katie, it's Allison. And they kind of come as a nice package anyway. It's a lot easier to get both of them together. So
Will
we
has
did
a nice
that.
package too. Just by himself, right? Will?
There's also a lot of New Japan
Olsen?
stuff going on. So I reached out to Bakley. He was kind of like, maybe. And then he didn't show up, and Vince did. So, like, Vince is now our Bakley for the evening, and we appreciate it, Vince. I'm sure you got a bunch of notes about New Japan tonight.
None, actually.
Let me down. We got Sammy in the chat. We got Katie in the chat. We got Bakley in the chat. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever want to refer to Bakley, make sure you spell his last name right. It's Bakley. If you spell it Bakley, he's just going to tell you that you're not talking about him, even though he knows damn well who the fuck you're trying to time out in Will's chat. With all that said, I would like to thank everyone who is watching us, whether you're watching us live at twitch.tv/creation world, where if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you have Prime Gaming. Now, our friends over at Wednesday Night Wild actually hit me up, and I talked them through this. So if you have Amazon Prime, you go to Prime Gaming, you create your account, you link it to your Twitch account, and then from your computer, you go to Twitch, and when you hit that subscribe button, the option will come up to subscribe using that Amazon Prime account. You have to do it from your computer when you do it and when you renew, which is the only downside to it, but it gives us support, kind of like the underwear that I have on right now. Really good support. We appreciate it. Help us out. But for real, like, it costs you guys nothing. You're already paying for Amazon Prime. So throw that sub, whether it's over to us, whether it's down there to, the boss bitch herself, because, she's the one that all that goes to, not Will. He's just the puppet on screen. She's got her hand up his ass.
She's the eye candy.
She definitely does.
On regular occasion. But yeah, no, go sub to them. They are fantastic. She League Showcase. We love Katie. She's here almost every week except for this week. They are now accepting subs. I mean, Katie's been accepting subs for as long as I've known her, but officially on Twitch, that's a thing now. So you can sub to them as well. I just want you to support your favorite content creators. And if that is us, that is fucking fantastic. And I appreciate it. You guys can also go to youtube.com/Creation World, where it is free to like, to subscribe, to comment. Will, what does that do?
It boosts the algorithm and it helps find new listeners.
I miss doing that with you. It's been too long. I got to talk to Travis about that. Allison.
Yeah.
Why do I want to find new listeners?
Because he's a whore.
Because you're a whore.
I am. I am a whore. I'm a whore for likes. I'm a whore for comments. I'm a whore for views. I'm a whore for listens. I really thought you were going to knock that Katie part out of the park, Allison.
I'm sorry. I was reading something and got distracted. Because you a big old hoe. There you go.
I am here to entertain you, and I will do just about anything to do it. So please like, comment, subscribe. And while you're watching us, flick that bean, that notification bell up top. Get notified every time we go live Monday through Friday for the Creation Conversation. Every Saturday, 11 p.m. Central, midnight Eastern for Smackin It Raw. And every other Sunday for Getting Off, or any other content that we might randomly drop your way. You won't know unless you get notified. So flick that bean, hit that notification bell, and find out. Also, creationworld.com is live. If you have any questions about where to find our stuff, just go to creationworld.com. It'll get you links to everything, whether it is the merch, it is the Patreon, it is video, it is audio. All of our shit is there, easy to find. One location, creationworld.com. All right. And I think it's time for news and rumors. So Katie sent me her news and rumors, and first and foremost, she's got on here that Lee Fitting has replaced Kevin Dunn as new head of media and production over at WWE. Apparently, Kevin Dunn just said, fuck it, I'm out, and left. I guess he didn't like the way things were going under new leadership, even though everyone else seems to really enjoy the way things are going under new leadership. And I have no idea who the fuck Lee Fitting is, but Kevin Dunn's done, and Lee Fitting is fitting right the fuck in.
Yeah. I didn't quite care for all the camera cuts. That's all really the only issues that I had with him, other than that, and that he was a bit of a creep from all the reports and rumors. Nothing was confirmed, but yeah, all good stuff. Good stuff.
My favorite quote in all of it was Kevin Dunn's exit was like, yeah, I felt like I was being targeted for being a Vince guy. Like, no shit, dude. Like,
if there's something worse you could be than a Vince guy, then I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And on that point, I want to, so like, you see a lot of people, oh, well, Vince was such a horrible person, and everyone gives Tony Khan shit. We give Vince shit. Vince did what he did for wrestling in WWE and made it what it was, whether you agree or disagree with it. He brought it to heights that it had never been, but he's also in real life, IRL, a piece of human garbage for everything that has come out about what he has been doing and the people that he has paid off to keep quiet in his extracurriculars and the people associated with that. And being pegged as a Vince guy, or being pegged in general, is not a comfortable situation to be in 2024, unless you're into that. So it is what it is. Tony Khan is still a weird fucking wrestling mark who is playing with Monopoly money and does odd things, and we're going to talk about both of them. So it's not a one-sided street here. We swing both ways like Katie, even though she's not here. Being pegged in general is crazy. Literally, at least one line of show is crazy. That's what we do here. What else does Katie got for us? Dark Side of the Ring season 5 is returning in March. Will, I know you're a huge fan of Dark Side of the Ring. You got kind of like a Dark Side of the Ring-ish podcast that you do, don't you?
I might know a thing or two about a thing or two. I'm a big Evan Husney fan. I won't completely commandeer the section of news and rumors, but it looks like they're going to be going the last season with like Doink the Clown and some of that stuff wasn't as well received because it wasn't quite as dark as some of the other stuff was. You know what I mean? So apparently they're gonna like swing for the fences with this upcoming season. So I'm curious to see like how deep they go with it.
I'm just curious to see what stories they're actually going to tackle on in this next season, because that's the big thing. They haven't actually released, as far as I'm aware, what episodes, what stories they're actually going to cover. And it's going to be interesting to see what they actually touch upon and what they don't.
See, when we moved, we changed. Bye. Anyway, when we moved, we changed internet and cable service providers, and I lost the channel that I was watching Dark Side of the Ring on. I no longer had Vice anymore in our package. So I've been waiting for the whole season, this new season, to drop on streaming so that I can go check it out. I did catch a couple episodes on YouTube all the way through, but it's not very easy to find on YouTube. I did find some. The one I was really waiting for was Bash at the Beach, because I'm just fascinated with that fucking pay-per-view and what happened to, Hulk Hogan and all of that. So that one had me excited. Yes, Vince, you rose your hand like we're in grade school.
Yeah, I don't like to interrupt. The Vice TV's YouTube channel has all the episodes, but if not, Hulu has all the episodes available for streaming.
Not when they come out. Not so. I was on Hulu and I was looking. They had last seasons, but as the new stuff was coming out, they weren't out yet. So I was waiting for Hulu to drop the new season. They might be out now. I'm talking about when the show was airing, which was back in like April or some shit.
No, I think yeah. They wait until the season's over and conclude.
And then I forgot about it. So
it's okay. I'll set a reminder for you.
I appreciate that. Speaking of TNA, we're going to talk about the pay-per-view tonight, Hard to Kill. I know Will checked it out and he's very excited about it. They were debuting new belts ahead of Hard to Kill, and I saw some of them. They look dope as shit. The X Division title looked really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Can I talk? I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to. I wasn't sure if you had finished yet. I'm not a big fan of red straps. I'll say that. But putting the Knockouts tag and the TNA tag titles on red straps, they're not terrible looking. No. I don't mind them. The Knockouts women's world title with the white strap on that belt is fire. Love it. And then the world title belt is classic. The big thick black strap with the gold and the red and the yellow and the big thick black strap. It's beautiful.
Who doesn't love a big thick black strap?
Yeah, no, they were pretty gorgeous designs. They were pretty solid all around. Like, you can't really miss with either of those titles. And then when they were doing the exchange when the wrestlers had their previous Impact version of the titles, even those weren't really bad. Like, I've never really paid attention to how great all those title designs were for Impact / TNA. My favorite was the X Division. I thought it was cool. The red X in the center just really stood out above everything else.
And then last but not least, on Katie's notes, Mickie James joins OVW as creative director, head of female talent, and executive producer for TV shows. If you guys are not familiar, OVW recently had a Netflix series drop with Al Snow, going through and introducing a bunch of characters and the journey and everything that's been going on with OVW as of late that I actually checked out and it was pretty good. I know there are a lot of people out there who are not a huge fan of one of the female wrestlers over there. But the show in and of itself was very cool and entertaining. It was a nice look behind the scenes, and Mickie James being over there is nothing but a boon for them. So
yeah, true.
1000% agree. She's a win. She's a great wrestling mind. It's one of my favorite things to say.
And like Metal Mike said, by the way, Metal Mike, thanks for coming through. Great documentary. They did a great job. There was something else I feel like happened that was important. I think I was watching you guys Thursday night, was it? You guys were talking about, maybe I was listening to Get You. I don't know. I've listened to so much in the last 24 hours. Yeah, I know you were on Get You. You were on Get You with Wallop. Somebody said something about how maybe Cora Jade and Braun Breaker might not be together anymore.
Oh, that was like maybe like 2 weeks ago.
I don't think that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago. We just happened to talk about it this past Thursday when we recorded, and that was only because we hadn't recorded for 2 weeks because we took 2 weeks off.
And people are blaming CM Punk for taking a picture with Cora Jade.
Exactly. He took one with Lola Vice too, so if Lola Vice is with anyone.
To be fair, he took one with every woman in NXT.
I would have too.
He took one with Bailey as well. There's proof of him with Bailey.
Would have done that as well.
Yep.
Chick Magnet and Punk.
Didn't Cora Jade just get hurt again? Like the other day?
Bakley just said, speaking of Cora Jade, she got injured last night.
Yeah.
Down.
Which
That's
is unfortunate because,
I
I mean,
tough break.
You know, well, we'll talk about it. She had a match on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
But anyone got anything else they think might be relevant this week? News and rumors that we want to talk about before we move on and do our spits and swallows?
I can talk about my Tony Khan conspiracy theory. It's not really mine. I have to give credit to our friend Cody.
We should kind of maybe talk about the gender Tony bullshit on Twitter. I think that's what I was thinking of, and I blanked out.
Probably.
What's your conspiracy theory?
So that AEW is a shell company for the Khans to get a tax break because of how much money it loses. And they just keep pouring money into it as it continues to lose money, and they don't care that it's losing money.
Okay.
I mean, solid theory. That's a nice little Austin theory you had there.
A little Austin theory.
Yeah.
Any numbers to support that on the Botched Spots and Chair Shots side?
They lost, what was it, $35 million last year?
In total, they have yet to go into the red as a company since they started to the black rather. Yeah. Since they started in 2019, every year they've made for a loss, right? So in theory, at the end of the year, when you file your taxes, you take your business losses as deductions from your overall gross income. So you pay less taxes because your company loses money.
Okay.
Like this is, I'm by no means a tax representative. You know what I mean?
But it's basic tax
IRS on the
law.
line.
Yeah.
I'm sure that, and like DC said, it's 100% a money laundering scheme. I'm sure that when
Young Kings
they
agrees
took
with
on
you.
the financial risk of AEW, that was definitely factored in and looked at as, hey, even if we don't make money, we can come out somewhat okay because of this. But again, there is no way that a man who is only doing this as a money laundering scheme is making that big of an ass of himself on social media the way Tony Khan is.
Are you sure?
I'm
sure about
fairly
that?
positive.
Are you sure about that?
I am.
No, I don't think
Because
so.
if it was just a money laundering scheme, he'd shut the fuck up. He'd sit back. He wouldn't be showing his ass like that on social media for no reason.
Listen, he's so delusional that his dad was like, here, make a wrestling company and get the fuck out of my way. I don't care what you do with it. It's going to save me money over here. So you go over here to get the fuck away from me.
But that's what I'm saying. Tony.
It's a toy for Tony Khan. He's literally playing with his little wrestling action figures, but they're real people.
He said it's two birds with one stone. Shad Khan can launder his money. Tony can run his real life E-Fed like he always wanted. Preach, Allison.
See?
TC's with because this man, people. So this man got offended that some of us, and I was one of them, said, hey, listen, Hook is not the person I want to see challenging Samoa Joe.
So stupid.
He's not. And Tony's like, oh, well, nobody complains about Jinder Mahal, and Jinder Mahal hasn't won a match in 365 days, and blah, 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 and this and that. But you're complaining about Hook, and Hook's record is like 83 and whatever the fuck he said.
I think he said 21-1.
AEW Dynamite tonight, right? Just taking shots at WWE because he's pissed off that people don't like his fantasy booking in real life. Jinder shot back, said, who the fuck is Hook? USA Network asked what the cage match rating was, blah, 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 blah. It's been a whole thing. Tony won't just put his fucking phone down. He keeps getting into it and going back and forth and talking shit. That's definitely not happening. Tony shouldn't be complaining about the Hook thing, but I agree with TK. Jinder getting a title shot is questionable.
I agree.
I'll get it. I can get into it here, or I can get into it later. But
we'll get into it later.
We'll get into it later. Yeah. Bakley, I'm gonna let you let that marinate for a second, because that's the first time you're gonna let me just not say anything to you.
The best tweet in the whole exchange, though, is when Brian Danielson broke his quiet and his thing, and he just tweeted a meme of himself that was like, that sounds like a fine to me. And I was like, okay.
I didn't see that, really?
Yeah.
No,
it got taken down, but you can Google it and people have the screenshots from it. When I saw it, I was like, that's funny, dude. But yeah, he was like, that looks like a fine to me. And I was like, he memed himself about his boss running his mouth on Twitter. That's genius.
Hilarious.
I mean, they did say that they were going to start fining people for their social media activity.
They did. And with that, Vince,
yes,
we'll get into our spits and swallows. Daddy Delgado,
yes, sir.
Spit or swallow?
I'm going to swallow the modern day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal, 2 weeks in a row. First, he puts over the returning Rock, who other than Jinder Mahal, to go into Monday Night Raw and put over an actor like Dwayne Johnson. Made him look good, even though he blew up just doing one people's elbow. Jinder can't run the ropes for him. Seth Rollins comes out. He's looking for a challenger. Jinder Mahal comes out. I don't care what anyone says. I've been a 3MB fan from day one, so I'm going to support Jinder, and I'm going to support Heath, and I'm going to support Drew. Should he win the title? Probably not. Would I like to see it, to watch the world burn? Yes, give me Jinder winning. They have history going back to NXT. He's a former world champion. This is a foregone conclusion, yes. But you know what? Tony Khan's making Jinder Mahal a bigger star. I love everything. He clapped back at Tony. I'm all for it. I'm swallowing Jinder Mahal so long he gets his opportunity. I talked about it on Get Show. He's a winner. And I'm just swallowing everything Jinder, man. Love all of it. And he got his dope theme song back, too. He came back with his dope-ass theme song, too. Love it.
All right. So, on one hand, you can't discuss WWE in the same vein of booking any other wrestling company, because WWE has always done things the WWE way. When you come out and you say you're going to be an alternative and you're going to treat this like a sports-based product, and that is your goal and that is your justification for your booking and everything, you can't then say, well, WWE did this and no one's complaining, so why are you complaining about my decisions? Because the way WWE does it is not sports presentation-based booking. The only criteria in WWE you have ever really needed to challenge for a championship is either A, you kind of don't like somebody, or B, you've had a belt before and you want it back. those are really,
or just
there's
have
not-
history with the guy, just like Tim is saying. It's like
hence, I don't like this person. Yeah.
okay, all right, fair.
So like there's no ranking system, there's no win-loss records, there's no justification outside of specific match-based scenarios for a number one contendership, or like the Royal Rumble or the Elimination Chamber where you're competing for a spot at a pay-per-view. Anything in between or main events of pay-per-views like the Royal Rumble or matches for a world title at the Royal Rumble, all of that is basically just like whoever they feel like. It doesn't matter how many matches you've lost in the year before. In WWE, you could be on a losing streak, you could have one hot match, and the rest of your year could be on fire. All it takes is one promo, one match, one thing for a WWE superstar.
Look at Kofi Kingston. It took one gauntlet match, and people wanted him to be in the world title picture.
Exactly.
Like I'm not saying gender is it's Kofi. Look, it's okay, Allison. You know, it's okay, Will. You guys don't have to like gender, but at least the story is there. I feel like they made a story interesting as to somewhat justify the title shot, and even if it's not fully justified, the story is there, which I think it's like night and day with the whole Hook thing. Like do what you want to do. If you want to do Hook versus Joe, justify it on your program. Don't worry about what gender's doing. Don't hinder gender.
Here is my problem with the whole thing.
Okay.
Is that we all know that they're just going to shit on Jinder Mahal because they always do. Like WWE shits on a lot of people, and Jinder's one of those people that they continuously kind of shit on. But by doing whatever they're doing, like they're also shitting on Drew and Damian and like all of these other people. Like y'all complain when Charlotte comes in out of nowhere and gets the title picture. Where's the real build to this?
To be fair, though, the complaint with Charlotte is that every time she shows up, that's what she does. It's not like every time I've seen Jinder in the last year and a half, he's been challenging for the Raw, SmackDown, or NXT championships.
I don't
but
think...
in general, like people should like, there's a course of like, okay, you need to be in line, yada, 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 whatever. Like when he returned that day, like right before the Rock, literally no one gave a shit. And it took, except for Vince.
And
like,
TC.
Personally, I really like Jinder. Like, I think he's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think we're being force-fed this story now because no one would have given a shit if another company hadn't said something about it. You know what I mean? Like,
I think I saw a lot of people like here's the thing, for whatever reason, Jinder Mahal has this fan base cult online, and my full timeline was full of like, yes, Jinder Mahal. Everybody's rooting for Jinder Mahal, right? I'm not gonna clamor for a Jinder match, but I like seeing the dude just be on TV, be successful. You know, like I don't want to hinder the guy.
I'm gonna let Will go, and then we're gonna move the fuck on from Jinder Mahal because we've spent way too much time on him. He's definitely not been hindered on the show.
Are you sure?
This is at the core of it, though, and I'm going to say something that I'm sure Vince isn't, from judging by the fact that he assumed I was anti-gender here.
Not anti-gender.
But at the core of it, I made a TikTok about this the other day. At the core of everything in pro wrestling, the belt is the only thing that matters. The whole point is to be the world champion and be the number one guy. So he doesn't have to have a story to want that world title, because at the core of it, everybody wants to be the world champion. That's the whole point of being a pro wrestler, is to be the best. That's the whole premise behind having a world champion. If you go all the way back to the fucking Carney days, like, so him coming out and going, I want the belt, isn't that much of a stretch considering he's had it at one point. You know what I mean? Not this one specifically, but he's been the dude in the past. So, yeah.
So
something like that.
Go ahead, Allison.
But here's the thing. Like, he's going to come in and he's going to lose, and then we're not going to see him for 6 months.
We don't know that.
Okay. I got my gender fix, right? Like, you guys got your gender fix? We're good.
But here's the thing. Like, he deserves more than that.
Okay.
He is a good talent.
Let's see what they actually do. Because we're assuming he's gonna lose, but what if in the loss he actually puts up a good showing? He doesn't have to actually win the match. Let's say, like, you're assuming they're gonna shit on Jinder, which they very well could.
We don't yuck any yums. If that's what they choose to do, that's between them consenting adults.
That is 100% consenting adults. All right. we're going to mix the Hook It stuff in here real quick because Tim said Hook and Joe is fine. It's like Ricky versus MJF last year, giving the young pup a shot. And I don't disagree with him. So, like, well, when it happened, my initial reaction was, why the fuck is Hook challenging Samoa Joe? And even this past Wednesday, after everything that happened with Samoa Joe, where he came out, talked about being ready to take on all comers, Swerve came down, told Joe it ain't personal. Joe just has something he wants, but after he takes it, if Joe wants to make it personal, they can get personal. Hangman came out, said 2024, the title is going to be his. And then Hook waits till everyone leaves, and he comes out and then just stands in the ring without grabbing a mic and says 1 week, blah, blah, blah. He did not look on Joe's level. And I am by no means a hooker. However, this could be a great performance and a breakout moment for Hook. Like, we know he's not going to win, but we also do know that in the ring, the kid can go. And this kind of fight is the kind of fight that's going to make him look good against a guy like Joe. If he can go out there and he can do his shit and stand toe-to-toe in the middle of the ring with Joe, even if he can't do so on the mic, even if he does look like he's about to take a nap when he comes out, like all of those things, I preferred him in the back eating snacks. That was the hook that I liked, was snacky time Hook before nappy time Hook.
Snacky
Hook House and I enjoyed as well.
Yeah.
But like, if he comes out and shows out against Samoa Joe and has a great fucking match, I'm not saying, okay, keep him in, but this could be like okay, now we move him to the international title or the All Atlantic title or the TNT title. Like, we can move him into a mid-card spot now, and it's going to be more believable because he just stood toe-to-toe with Samoa Joe, so there's pretty much nobody else on the roster he can't stand toe-to-toe with.
Well, I mean, fair. I mean, I personally call him nepotism kin because he has a job because of his daddy and a belt because of his daddy, and what have you.
As someone who's probably the result of a nepotism hire, I have no problem with that.
I love the realism there, Mateo.
I strive to one day breed a nepotism child.
I don't know. Like, I would like to see him be more legitimate than standing in his daddy's little shadow.
I mean, I've watched the kid work in the ring. I've watched him throw suplexes and put on submissions. He's believable. He's tiny, but he's good. Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely not the worst.
He's got a ways to go. He got some ways to go in his career. Like, he's gonna be around for a hot minute.
Oh, yeah.
And he's gonna eventually grizzle out. I'll make a comparison. I'm not saying they're similar, but look at Dom Mysterio when he started off, especially when he was teaming with his father. Even myself, as much as I wanted to root for that kid,
solid worker.
Evil Tom Holland is a solid worker. Even as much as I wanted to root for Dom early on, I didn't really see much of him. But as he broke away from his father, joined the Judgment Day, did the whole Prison Dom thing. It was all good stuff. It's all been good stuff. I can see Dom being the top guy at some point. Same thing with Hook, they're still young. Let them groom.
I agree. We'll see what happens. Allison, spit or swallow.
You didn't do Will?
I just kind of go in whatever order I want.
Oh, okay. Just kidding.
And I thought I'd save Will for last. I like to mix it up because Vince just thinks he knows when it's going to be his turn. And I like to throw him the fuck off every now and then.
Yeah.
No, I just sit back and
hey, it's not your turn right now. It's Allison. Shh.
Damn.
So I am going to swallow this situation that they're doing with Drew and Punk. Like, I'm not like the biggest Punk fan, but I do like this. I know you are a Punk fan, but I'm just saying, like, I do like what they're doing with Drew and Punk. So, yes, man.
I agree. So Drew comes out wallowing in his sorrow, starts laying the blame to everyone's feet, except his own for what's been going on since he lost his championship. He says CM Punk's name in his little tirade of all the people that have done him wrong, and out comes Punk. Punk says we're in Piper country, and Piper and Punk are known for talking, but Drew really isn't. And since all he seems to do is be talking lately, whatever he has to say, he can say it to Punk's face. Drew says they have a bet on how long Punk lasts in WWE, and the longer he's here, the more guys he's costing money. Blames Punk for his first run failure, saying he wasn't a good leader. Drew's the leader now. Drew calls Punk a demon. Punk says he isn't a demon, but when pushed, he can be Satan himself. And if Drew saw that, it's because he basically brought it out of him. Like, that's on you. You pushed me to be that. Drew will be in the Rumble and personally plans to exorcise Punk from the match. And Punk says he's going to save Drew for last and toss him out. And I enjoyed the shit out of all of that. I know it didn't hit
good
some
shit.
people. I fucking loved it.
I was not penciling in Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk as one of my ideal matchups for him on his return. But goddamn,
My man had it.
yeah, CM Punk's good on is good. The story is there because he was actually there during Punk's first run, and I like what they're doing. Like, I think Drew still just comes off like he's whining, which is fine. It's fine. This could set up a. I wholeheartedly believe that Punk's winning the Rumble. And when Punk does win the Rumble, they're going to set up Punk versus Drew at Chamber, where Drew challenges Punk to put his Rumble win and main event on the line, add some more obstacles to Punk's road to WrestleMania, and set up a singles match between these two in the pay-per-view, because it's not going to happen at the Rumble for obvious reasons. But I'm with Allison. This is really good. She actually took the swallow right out of my mouth.
God, that sounds hot. I would pay to watch that.
Do we do a who the fuck was it? I know Cena and Batista did it technically, but who did it before them with the
Bulldog and Shawn?
Yeah, it was Luger and Hart. The double win.
Luger and Hart,
yeah.
And
Luger
technically The Rock Big Show, even though it didn't really play out well for Big Show.
Yes. That was my prediction for the Rumble, was Cody and Punk doing a double win a la Luger and Hart. I said it the Sunday after Survivor Series. I had, I'm not going to say sour grapes, but they were fermenting grapes when it came to CM Punk and his exit from AEW and stuff. And I said, his return, let's see how it plays out. I'm here for things that are good for business. And everything he's done so far in WWE has been good for business. So I'm not mad about it. I like the Drew stuff. I like the stuff where he's heel Drew. I love everything about that. So, I mean, I like it. I think they need to pay Drew his fucking money, though. The fact that he hasn't got an extension yet, and they're saying that Becky and Seth are the priorities, and Drew's been working on a handshake, like, spoken word agreement for the last 8 months is wild to me.
I just need him to show up as Drew Galloway on TNA.
Well, his contract's not up till right after Mania, technically.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. So he's still under his full contract.
Go ahead. He has been pushing to go ahead and negotiate the contract, but they keep pushing him off.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
I agree with everything Will said. Also, CM Punk being a big Bret Hart fan, seeing Bret Hart-esque moments for CM Punk, like this double win Rumble thing, would be cool. I was thinking Punk and Drew, not Punk and Cody, but we'll see.
I need Cody to fail at the Rumble just so you have this moment similar to when Shawn Michaels was trying to get that Rumble win so he can face The Undertaker in his rematch at WrestleMania, 26? And he had to find other means. He had to screw Taker at the Chamber to do so and get that match. That's what I want to see with Cody. He won the Rumble last year. I'm okay if he wins it, but I would think it would help serve his story if now we're like, where does he go from here now? What?
You guys are driving me insane with this shit. Cody should have won at WrestleMania last year, and he didn't. We don't need any more service to his story to get him in a match with Roman at WrestleMania. We don't need to throw any more poor fucking roadblocks in front of America and America's ass to get him over the hump to fucking WrestleMania. Like, give the man his fucking match and put the belt on him. I need to see a Rhodes and a WWE title. One. I need it.
So you wholeheartedly are pushing that Cody should win the Rumble and Punk can get his title shot some other way.
Listen, whoever faces Roman is going to be the main event of WrestleMania. I don't care what anyone else thinks or says. Roman Reigns is going to be the main event of WrestleMania, not Seth versus Punk.
Night one.
So even if Punk wins the Rumble, we have seen the winner of the Rumble not main event before, because it's not really even guaranteed the main event, even though they say that. They say that there are 12 matches on the card and they're all main events wherever they fall. CM Punk has made it clear his goal is to close the show. I personally believe the women got shafted last year and that the women's Rumble winner deserves one night in the main event, and the men's Rumble winner deserves one night in the main event. And that is it. And everything else on the card is great and fun and enjoyable. Those are your 2-night main events, period. I don't care about story or anything else.
Rhea Charlotte should have made them night one.
I agree.
For sure. Like, I love the story that they were doing with the Usos and the tag titles and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. The match was fantastic, but it really should have been Bianca Charlotte because they had a great match as well.
Exactly. I don't care if it's
Bianca,
boring. They're gonna make it interesting and entertaining. We got to figure out how to get Cody to SmackDown somehow to go against Roman. This is the best option to do that and make it make sense. Is he wins the Rumble, he can challenge whoever he wants. Unless what? Does Cody at some point fight Damian Priest, take the Money in the Bank off Damian Priest, and then cash it in on Roman and win the title that way? Like,
I heard that as an option as well. I heard people saying that, oh, what if he faces Damian Priest? He gets the Money in the Bank and he announces that he wants to face Roman at WrestleMania.
Only there wasn't a brand split.
There isn't.
Will Spit or Swallow?
I am so excited for you to say those words because we're going to talk about something that isn't WWE or AEW, by God, and I'm going to be the man to bring it up. All right? My first swallow of the night is a huge swallow, and all three of you in this room are going to be like, oh, yeah, I swallow that as well. You ready? You ready for this? You ready? GCW, guys. All right.
Wasn't it in Chicago?
It was. And you know who's the main event? Mustafa fucking Ali against Gringo Loco last night in his hometown in Chicago for his first match since he left WWE. And it was a bona fide fucking banger. He came out with a Secret Service detail that had the earpieces on that followed him. He had this big, majestic, like, robe and shit. He came out to chants. The crowd ate it alive. They explained he hadn't had an independent booking in his hometown in over 1,000 days because of WWE. And he was going head to head with the guy who brought, like, a lot of the Lucha Libre into GCW and Gringo Loco. And then you're looking at Mustafa Ali, who is pretty much running into this faux candidacy of being the leader of the under 205 division. And it's like this gorgeous like story that they're building. Plus it was his first fucking match since he left the Fed, guys.
I thought he had a match already.
He had one overseas. This is his first match in the States.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I'm swallowing that. I love Ali, great guy, fantastic guy, Chi-Town's own, former CPD officer. I'd like to see him in the suit as well. Maybe that could be a gimmick. He actually has a few runs here in Chicago with Freelance Underground or Freelance Wrestling, one of the two, and then formerly known as Warrior Wrestling. They're having the Revolution Brewing show on the 1st, which I try to get tickets for, and that shit sold out in 40 minutes. The main event for that one is him versus Trey Miguel, so that's gonna be that was gonna be a doozy. And shout out to Gringo Loco. I didn't like him initially, I just thought I thought he was a white man's super crazy, but I
Yeah.
warmed up to him. And then apparently he employed my mom as a worker for him, a few years back before the Panini. So shout out to him for giving my mom some money.
Shout out to him. I have no idea who the fuck he is, but shout out to that guy. Bakley says he's wrestling at Windy City Riot. Also, apparently he showed up tonight on New Japan, called out Hiromu Tanahashi, said Tanahashi. Yes, I'm saying his name properly. Because I thought about this. I just want to make sure everyone knows I know how to say these wrestlers' names every now and then. I have to clear that up. Tanahashi was unfit for president of New Japan because, like, the whole gimmick is I'm making fun of white people who can't say these names, like, and I want to make sure that gets across. I know how to pronounce these names.
You know this, man.
I'm just checking. So Vince said it. We much like TC rides for every wrestler, no matter how shitty they are. Matt Riddle from Las Vegas. We ride for everybody here from Chicago, especially really good people like Mustafa Ali. Happy to see him out here doing his thing. I know you do, Bakley, and I appreciate it. Hiroyoshi Tamagotchi. Anyway, I guess it's on me. I'm going to swallow Kaiser Roll, taking revenge on Kofi for what he did to our boy Vinci. He came out
him
and wrecked Kofi. And I love Kofi Kingston, but, like, shout out to Kaiser Roll. I didn't know he had it in him.
Yeah.
I was taken aback. I was flabbergasted.
Maybe a little turned on. That, like, we don't have anyone left from New Day. Kayfabe or in real life.
It's a New Day in the tag team division without them there, you know. No, but it was good stuff. Ludwig Kaiser just destroyed the fuck out of Kofi. Kofi sold the fuck out of it. I've been seeing a lot of like tossing of like the commentary chairs onto wrestlers on WWE programming lately, and I'm all for it. That always gets a pop for me.
Bagley said he's had too much built-up aggression after Tiffy time spent the day in the barn. We will talk about that. Allison, Spitter Swallow.
Since you brought up, actually, I'm going to leave this for Will because I bet he wants to bring it up. The thing about changing the name of the pay-per-view in Germany.
Oh no, I don't have that on my list.
Oh well, fuck it, then I'll bring it up. I'm going to spit something.
Okay.
So I'm going to swallow something and then spit something. So I swallow the fact that for Elimination Chamber in Germany, they changed the name because.
Yeah.
But they go out of their way to change the name of a pay-per-view, but still have Imperium's gimmick.
We've had many discussions and debates,
and that's the only thing I'm going to say about it. This doesn't have to be a long discussion, but it's just like not Elimination Chamber. Yeah,
it's Elimination Chamber. They changed it to No Escape.
No Escape.
Yeah.
Wait.
Elimination Chamber is in Australia, but in Germany.
They changed like when it shows in Germany.
Bingo. It's not Elimination Chamber. That pay-per-view is called No Escape.
In Germany.
Go highlight Scals' comment. Scals, I love you with my whole entire soul, but this is not a fight you want to have with me. This is not me holding on to something. So we're just gonna leave that there and do your research.
Yes. Only in Germany they're having their name changed because the idea of that in Germany is culturally insensitive after history. So them changing it to No Escape makes sense. That being said, they're only doing that in Germany because it is so like the only way to kind of do what you're talking about would be to either keep Imperium off like German TV, period. Just like cut those segments because it's still Elimination Chamber everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like they're changing
but they're cognizant
for the location.
But they're cognizant to make that change, but not cognizant to not have their gimmick be what it is.
Also, the gimmick isn't as much what it was now as it hasn't really been that.
It has slowly started to like drift away because I think they're finally realizing what they did, but the name needs to change.
Yeah.
Like they can still be them. They just need just a little.
I think we're like getting to a point where Imperium, as it's currently constructed, is no longer going to be a thing. Kaiser, Vinci, and Gunther are all going to go their separate ways. I think that's where we're going to get this resolution, because I think they're just kind of stuck in their ways, and they're like, it's already called Imperium. That's the implication, but like they don't care unless it's something like like submission sorority or whatever that has to do with some sexual TVMA content, mature content.
I don't think they care about that, to be honest.
Yeah, because the original name for Paige, Charlotte and Becky was submission sorority for 1 week. The next week they're like Team PCB.
Well, the only reason they changed it is they don't want children searching that and finding something else.
If you search Imperium, bad thing comes up.
Right, but most people are probably searching Gunther or Imperium WWE, blah, blah, blah,
Maybe.
blah. Stuff like that. Whereas if you image search submission sorority without the safe search on, which I recommend you do.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Vince, spit or swallow?
I'm gonna swallow the national treasure that is R-Truth, and that beautiful fucking graphic, that National Geographic, what like documentary, like that new WWE 24 whatever on Peacock, where yes,
your former co-host over for Smacked NXT, RN, used to refer to Natalya as Live, Laugh, Love in real life. So I am referring to this as R-Truth's Natalya promo because it ended with Live, Laugh, Love.
You know what's crazy is that when he dropped that little line at the end, I immediately thought of RN. So RN, if you're watching this, I doubt you're watching this, but if you are, someone clip this. Love you, RN. I miss you. Live, laugh, love, bro, every single day. But yeah, R-Truth, when he's talking about the AI image generated picture of baby R-Truth staring into the doctor's eyes, and he's like, I looked that doctor in the eyes and I told him, one day I'm gonna be in the judgment day, and look at me now, my dream came true. And he just goes on about how they're one big happy family. The line about like Tom and Nick Mysterio. I haven't met Nick Mysterio, but that's my brother. That's family. And then the memes of Tom and Nick Mysterio everywhere. They're like, oh, JD's out now. I'm in. We're one happy family. All the photoshops of R-Truth with the Judgment Day. Him like with the green screen of Rhea celebrating her Rumble win, and he's just like, oh shit, fireworks. Fucking hilarious. He punctuated everything with a live, laugh, love at the end, like you mentioned. God damn, was that fucking hilarious. Fucking hilarious. And then he was in ringside too for JD's match against was it The Miz?
Yeah.
Yeah, The Miz. And then more comedy gold shit there. Like fucking R-Truth. It's amazing. I know some people are shitting on it, are like not okay with it because Judgment Day isn't doing anything seriously. But man, this is fun. Have fun. It's wrestling. It's all silly and retrospective.
Outside of Rhea Ripley, there's nobody serious in Judgment Day anyway.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, true. I was gonna say
Um,
Finn, but then no, fucking Finn's a
No.
goofball.
Yeah.
Over here talking about 6'1" mine to Rey Mysterio forever ago.
I freaking love R-Truth. Shout out. He follows me on the tweeters. We're friends.
Ooh.
Metal Mike asked an interesting question. He said, what if they change the name of Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, and I'm assuming also the structure, to the Thunderdome, which obviously that was what we know of as the place that they held all the stuff during the pandemic. That's what they called it. So they have that. It's part of WWE canon because the design of the Thunderdome Arena slightly resembled the structure. Thoughts? And then Will said, it's over 20 years old, maybe time for an upgrade or a makeover.
The chamber's
I don't
20 years
disagree.
old. That's crazy.
It is. It makes you feel so fucking old, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
So
I
many
think
people get
they
hurt.
should. Yeah, they have modified it so it does look a little safer. It doesn't look as brutal.
Oh,
as
that is the last thing I care about. Listen, you are paid to put your body in the line for my entertainment, and I need your body on the line for my entertainment. I need it to hurt. I want the metal plated floors like we used to have. I want all that.
You want the
back.
aesthetic back.
I want real glass. Damn it.
Oh man, I love it. Like just call it No Way Out. Just change it back to No Way Out and leave the chamber as is. You don't have to call it the Elimination Chamber on other programming over in Germany. But I think the Elimination Chamber is just an iconic name, I don't know. I think that's just me personally. Maybe I am an old man and I'm stuck in my ways.
You are. Speaking of old men stuck in their ways, Will, spit or swallow.
Speaking of real glass, okay, I'm swallowing Jack Perry's New Japan Pro Wrestling debut. Okay, so I'm gonna start at the top. He showed up tonight at Battle in the Valley. He ripped up his AEW contract, sir.
Shota Umino.
Just Shota Umino. There you go.
I can really do it.
He attacked Shota Umino. My notes didn't have anything other than Umino because I couldn't remember what you called him. So so we're going with real names now. So Umino. He ripped up his AEW contract. He had a headband or a wristband that had the word scapegoat on it. He had some very heel things to mouth to the camera in the way he acted. So it's apparent that this is obviously him playing up the fact that he was the scapegoat to everything that happened, right? It was all his fault, blah, blah, blah. But here's the ultimate thing too, is like, I'm 100% positive, 1,000% positive, as I've signed legal contracts. Once you sign it, ripping it up does not it does not negate your contract. That's not how that works. So everybody's like, oh shit, he's out of AEW. Like, nah, bitch, just chill. Like
It's just for the story.
Yeah.
So Jungle Man shows up in New Japan, attacks Dakota Domino, rips up his.
Oh, it was wearing this like beautiful like 90210 like black leather jacket that looked like he had stolen from his dad's closet 25 years. Like black busted up jeans, looking like he fucking hijacked Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure type shit. I'm sorry, Matt, it is your show.
No, you're good. No, so he attacks Dakota Domino, rips up his AEW contract. My question, because Bakley was sending me all this stuff, and I was curious, is him ripping up his AEW contract a sign that he was also released like CM Punk was? Because you said ripping up your contract doesn't negate anything. Is this just a way to get him working before they bring him back on AEW TV and kind of establish a character that they can bring back into AEW? I'd like to believe, especially if he's going to call himself the scapegoat, that since Punk got fired, he got fired too. Since, Koki Khan was fearing for his life. I'd like to believe that all
AEW
parties
is
were
the
fired.
safest work environment in all of wrestling, actually.
Shout out to Young Kings Wrestling. Yes. So I mean, I saw it. I checked it out. I'm interested. It was cool. Good for him. No, yeah, I'm down with that. Vince, his camera froze, but we can still hear him. He's doing his.
I'm here.
Yeah, you're doing your fucking ventriloquist thing.
Yeah.
I
think it'd be funny to do my spit or swallow while I'm frozen.
What do I want to do? I've only got a little bit from Dynamite. I'm going to swallow the fact that we did a Brody Lee tribute show. I know a lot of people said that Dynamite wasn't hitting, and I won't disagree because I didn't take a lot of notes from Dynamite because a lot of people felt like it was like a scapegoat thing to where they didn't have to put on a show, blah, 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 by doing a Brody Lee tribute show. But I enjoyed the fact that we paid homage to Brody Lee, that we had Anna Jay in matches, which is a separate swallow, that we had Preston Vance in matches. You know, we didn't see the Dark Order or the remaining members of the Dark Order that still have contracts, if any, out there, which I'm kind of surprised, you know, thought you'd get everyone in a match, but it is what it is. But just in remembrance of Brody Lee, happy to do that. It's nice because I feel like that's kind of a big part of AEW history that until they bring it up, kind of sort of gets forgotten about every now and then until you hear like either Dark Order or -1 get mentioned every now and then. So it was good.
Rampage doesn't count, basically.
They wrestled the main events on Rampage in a 3-on-3 match with -1. So that happened.
Yeah.
I'm going to piggyback here because I swallowed the Brody Lee stuff. Okay. But I spit, and my notes say spit multi-man shit shows. 1 6-woman tag match, 1 6-man tag match, 1 8-woman tag match. I don't feel like it's like Tony Khan wakes up and he like watches Gato book in New Japan and he was like, oh, we're doing a tribute show or something special. Let's just throw as many people on the card as possible instead of using this time to actually accentuate people that were directly connected to Brody. He put those people on the card, but he like washed it out by putting them in these ridiculous 8-woman tag matches and 6-man tag matches. And to me, like, it was there, but it wasn't there because it got washed out by all of this other nonsense happening. I love the idea of them dedicating it to him. I don't like the fact that the people that were directly part of his career were like, you know, oversaturated in these ridiculous multi-man tag matches.
I honestly didn't know it was dedicated to Brody. That's how little I felt like it was actually highlighted. I thought there was just like, oh, on this day, like Brody Lee did this. They did one video package highlighting a bunch of his stuff. And then they made mention about his proteges, Anna Jay and the former 10 being in multi-man matches, being in competition, getting the victories. But it's like, if you were going to do a multi-person tag match, why not do the 3-on-3 tag match you did, but have well, actually, you can't do that because he's not part of Dark Order anymore, right?
But you could have, if the type of booking TK does, you could have thrown them together because they were in Dark Order, and it would have made sense in Tony Khan's canon.
Also, speaking of TK, our TK, the one that doesn't do coke but does have the nose for it. Same shit with Collision this week. Why 2 trios matches takes away from the main trios match, and then Metal Mike. Great point. The women's division was very well highlighted as well this week. 13 women on our screen on Wednesday night. Awesome to see. Not something we normally get, even if 8 of them were in a tag team match. Since they're all heels now, he said. And then quantity doesn't equal quality from off the top. 8-women match. Renee, Red Velvet, Deanna, Tony, and Maria. We would never, ever wash out a show with nonsense. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, patreon.com/creation world. Go there, check it out. For just $1, you get 3 awesome shows. You get Return to Wrestling with Matt and Travis, where we sit down and talk old school WCW. There's the entire back catalog available when you pay that $1, including the new episode every month. This month will be Great American Bash 1998. I'll probably recording that within the next week or so. There's even an episode with Will where he came on. I think it was the first time he met Travis. So as you go back through the catalog, you can hear Will before I hate you so much.
Before the fireworks went off between him and Travis.
I was going to say before his WCW podcast was a thing, talking WCW with us. Also, we have Multiverse with Travis and Mara, where they sit down and they talk DC animated films. If you guys are into DC animated films or comic book movies in general, it's a great show. It's a great listen. You guys can go check that out. And last but not least, you get If You Have to Ask with me and my wife, Kate. Most recent episode had Katie on, another one that we'll be recording within the next week or so. So a new episode will drop. All of that for $1. And then there are more tiers. You click on it, we give you more shit. The more you support us, the more we give you. I'm like a hooker in that aspect. The more money you pay me, the more I'll give you. So go check that out. One of those tiers gets you this show ad-free. And we got a new concept here now. Every week we are going to be playing a new ad for that week. And this week, Travis is here to tell you all about our new sponsor.
Ooh. Happening, y'all. I know we're having a lot of fun right now, but I actually want to talk to you about something very important: your health. You see, life is full of twists and turns, and that's why having the right health insurance matters. I want to make sure you have the coverage you need without breaking the bank, and that starts with speaking to me for absolutely no charge. Having health insurance isn't just about doctor visits, though. It's about living a healthier, happier life. Physical health and mental well-being go hand in hand. And that's why the plans I represent cover not just the physical, but the mental aspects of your health as well. And here's the deal. I'm very good at what I do. So not only can I find you the perfect plan, but I might even be able to get you one for free. That's right, free advice and a free plan. Your health is too important to compromise. So let's chat, find the right plan, and ensure your well-being. Just visit health.creationworld.com today to schedule a free consultation. The link is right here in the description. That's health.creationworld.com. Your health, your future.
And we're back. Good night, Tim. I know you're probably gone by now, but we appreciate you stopping by. Off Top Media said there were 2 great women's matches tonight on AEW. I unfortunately did not get to check out Collision, so that did not happen. However, please let me know what they were, because one of the main reasons I tune into AEW is for the women's stuff. Women's wrestling is probably my favorite wrestling going on right now. Most of the men that I really love don't get highlighted or aren't with us anymore, unfortunately. So a lot of the wrestling I do enjoy is women's wrestling, and a lot of the stuff that'll make me tune into an AEW show I missed is who they highlighted in the women's division and what they had going on. So please, Off Top Media, let me know what those matches were. With that said, Vince, spit or swallow.
I'm gonna swallow like all the Latino goodness and Filipino goodness that I got with the first match of SmackDown with the Familia de Fantasma or whatever the fuck they're called now, between Santos Escobar. You had Angel and Humberto. They took on LWO members, Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. Fantastic match. I very much enjoyed it. I like me some flippy shit. That gave me flippy shit. Carlito showed up. So more Latino goodness. And that's setting things up. That's probably going to be a 6-man match either at the Rumble or on a future SmackDown. So I like Angel Garza. He's one of my favorite wrestlers that, like Matt was saying about AEW, one of my male wrestlers that don't get highlighted all that often. But thankfully I get to see a little bit of him now on SmackDown. So I'm intrigued to see what happens with that going forward. But I'm also going to swallow just right there the little interaction Carlito had with Paul Heyman, because that was funny as well.
How do you say Wolfpack in Spanish?
Wolfpack? I'd have to Google it.
I was going to say...
Because...
La Familia de Lobos.
Because Wolf is Lobo, Pack is Paquete, but it's now Paquete de Lobos. Because that'd be like a package of wolves. Like
I like that. Paquete de Lobo, LWO, Paquete de Lobos versus LWO. That's what we're going with. As a matter of fact, depending on if we come up with anything better, Paquete de Lobos may be the title of this episode.
That's actually wolf packages. Wolf package.
Fine. I'm good with that. I love a good wolf package. During the winter, I have one. I can send you pictures. Anyway,
Maxie, where's my phone?
Paquete de Lobos versus the LWO. I agree with you. They need to figure out if they're going to be Legado, if they're going to be LWO Wolfpack, if they're going to be La Familia, whatever the fuck they're going to be. I'd like to know. They came out with Legado music, right?
Well, Santos has been using the Legado music since he turned.
And he came out, and then they came out as a tag team to his music. So they've been using Legado music.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, it was good shit.
I also swallowed the LWO Wolfpack.
Paquete de Lobos.
Paquete de Lobos. That's what I wrote down
Paquete
too.
de Lobos.
Was love LWO Wolfpack. Paquete de Lobos.
Allison Spitter Swallow.
I want to go back to Dynamite for a second. I would like to spit the fact that like Thunder Rosa coming back didn't have any sort of like, hey, Thunder Rosa's back. It was, let's toss her in this oversaturated.
That pissed me off.
match.
That pissed me off because I was excited for her to return. But it's like, oh yeah, she's back here, women's match. Like,
yeah,
Jesus.
like no pomp and circumstance about her being back. Like when she left, she was your fucking champion.
Yeah, I agree with her making her in-ring debut. There should have been a bigger bit of hype about it. Also, since you brought up that match, did anyone else notice that when they did that quadplex spot that Julia Hart ran and lined up on the wrong side and then had to move before they could do it? Which I love Julia Hart, but that cracked me up a little bit when I was watching. I'm like, I think you're hanging out with the wrong people in that quadplex.
That was funny.
Rosa doses are better.
She moved quickly to get back into position.
You know, Rosa absolutely deserves better. She should have been coming out challenging someone. There should have been an interview with Tony, something to like Thunder Rosa is back, not just like we see her kind of doing commentary and existing a little bit, and then here she is in an 8-woman tag. It's Thunder Rosa, yay.
Yeah.
But we know how Tony books
women. She deserves a lot better than that. I mean, that whole women's division does, but
except for Tony Storm, because her gimmick is fantastic, and anyone that says anything else is wrong. Timeless Tony Storm is the greatest thing ever.
It's
true.
It isn't, but that's fine.
It is. It is.
It is good, not great.
William, spit or swallow?
I'm going to swallow something, and I'm going to continue on my tour on making it an entire episode of Smacking It Raw. Smackin It Raw. I put a G on there. I'm sorry.
You did. No G.
That was very professional. I was like, I used the government name.
You got really white on us there.
By the way,
Smacking It Raw.
I'm on Smacking It Raw.
By the way, I was right. So I did the Google Translate thingy. When it's just like the Spaniard Spanish is manada de lobos, but the Mexican Spanish is paquete de lobo. So I was correct. Paquete de lobo. So because that's my Mexican Spanish. I don't know fucking Conqueror Spanish.
I love you, and Paquete de Lobo is probably the title of the episode. Also, you said you don't like to interrupt people, so Will, spit or swallow?
I'm gonna swallow.
Smacking It Raw.
On Smacking It Raw, I'm swallowing. I'm going to. I'm swallowing from TNA. I'm gonna tell you what I'm swallowing. Then I'm gonna ask you guys a question to follow up why I swallowed it. Okay. So I'm swallowing the way TNA was presented tonight in Hard to Kill because they booked a smaller venue for the pay-per-view. It looked packed to the rim. It was really great. That is a gorgeous cat. What is that animal's name?
This is Maxie.
Okay.
Maxima.
Hello, Maxima. The venue was packed to the brim. It was really well produced. It looked amazing, and it was only like 3,500 people, right? I love the way that looked. Could AEW do something with that by booking smaller venues to make it look more full for production? Instead of booking a 5,000 seat arena, book a 2,500 seat arena.
A lot of people have been saying that, actually, Will. So yeah, you're right on the nose with it.
Yes, but also, Will, if they did that, would they continue to operate at a loss and then be able to write it off?
No, that's why they're not doing it. That's why they have to continue to lose.
It's all part of the
It's a
agenda.
bigger venue than they usually shoot here.
So
TC and Al are onto something.
So
with this
Hard to
money
Kill was in
laundering thing.
Vegas?
Yeah. And then they're doing Snake Eyes tomorrow night. They're doing 2 Vegas pay-per-views back to back.
Oh, that's
Nice.
interesting. I thought Snake Eyes was going to be like later down the road. Like, that shows how much I'm paying attention.
Yep.
So TC was in attendance. Shout out to TC.
They finally got a big shout out to my boys in Nuckify Buckingham Palace, because they finally got that Vegas pay-per-view, and they get 2 back-to-back. Even if it is a TNA show, I'm happy for the boys that they finally got a pay-per-view in Vegas.
Snake Eyes isn't a pay-per-view. It's just a TV taping for Impact for this month.
Oh.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, it's still cool.
Hopefully they change the
Dirt
ropes, 'cause
Sheet
I wasn't
Dan.
a fan of the yellow
Dirt Sheet Dan
ropes.
Bakley.
I prefer Dirty Dick Dan, but we can go with that.
DVD, Triple D's.
Dirty Dan.
When you got distracted by Vince's cat showing up, all I could think about was from the movie I watched tonight, where the people kept chanting, "Where's my pussy at?" or "Where the pussy at?" So
What
That was
movie were
weird.
you watching?
Dumb Money. So the concept is there's this guy whose name was Roaring Kitten who did it's the whole like GameStop thing, right? Where like this guy came and convinced a bunch of people to buy GameStop stock and fuck the hedge funds and all this. And his name was Roaring Kitty. So every time like they were looking for advice from him, people were getting on and going, "Where the pussy at?" or "Where my pussy at? Where my pussy at?" asking like where he was at. And it was my favorite part of the movie. So
That's a contender for the title too.
it
Where my
is.
pussy at?
And also on occasion during the show going forward, I might just start saying that, waiting for your cat to show up. Might just be a thing now. Hey Vince,
Can
where my
we-
pussy at?
Can we talk about like how much Taylor Swift Vince is right now with his cat and his fucking Stanley Cup? Like,
I'm literally rocking all my Christmas gifts. My Stanley Cup. Maxie was a gift to myself over the summer. My Mysterio beanie and my SES Vince hoodie. So I got a little bit of everything.
he's like all bundled up with his fuzzy blanket and his cat.
My
and
Mexican
Stanley-
blanket.
His
Yes.
cat and his Stanley Cup. Like,
Me and Will talked about it on TikTok DMs about
I
Mexican
would-
blankets.
Are you saying that SES Vince doesn't stand for Straight Edge Society Vince? It stands for Swifty exists sexually Vince?
We'll work on it, but I am actually a Swiftie,
it's a talk.
so there's that.
I know it was a tortilla blanket, but it just looked like a blanket that something shit on.
It does.
It's
It's a big-
I was
tortilla
like, why
blanket.
is he showing a shit covered blanket?
It's a
on
big
it?
fleece blanket modeled after the blanket Vince has in his lap, but mine is 10 feet in a big circle, and it looks like a tortilla.
Show it again on the screen. I missed it.
While we're doing that, Allison, spit or swallow.
I'm gonna swallow Scarlett in her new dark hair.
Yes.
Dude, yes.
I
Oh my
love
god.
dark Scarlett. Like, she was dark before, but like the dark hair, like, ooh, girl, like it works. I like it, and I like the whole situation with AOP and them. Like, I hope that they actually stick to this gimmick and it's not just another shit show gimmick for
Karrion Kross.
Karrion Kross,
Listen,
yeah.
Lee Fitting is in production. We got that fantastic thing from R-Truth.
Mhm.
And then on SmackDown, we got Bobby Lashley calling out Cross. Paul Ellering walks out, points to the screen. We got a really cool video package highlighting Cross, Dark Scarlet, AOP, the most sadistic bastard wrestling has ever seen, Paul Ellering, which I thought was a really nice touch to put on that. and making this group feel like a dominant force. It's something that I have said has been missing from Karrion Kross. He has that look and that presence about him, but he wasn't presented that way. He was a guy that kept coming out and had the feel of someone who should be going out there and beating the shit out of people and dominating them, and just kept wrestling matches and losing. And I thought that's why there wasn't an appeal to Karrion Kross. Now we're getting that, and he's got the AOP to back him up. He's got his sexy, hot brunette wife now, because we love brunettes over blondes out here.
Shout out Chicago.
Generally, me personally. And then Paul Ellering, who is fucking fantastic, and
was dubbed the most sadistic person, most sadistic mind of wrestling history.
Yes,
according to Kross.
Correct.
Thoughts on the name, The Final Testaments?
I like it.
I liked it. I thought it was cool.
I like it.
As a former Catholic church boy, I thought it's a good name.
That's why you are the way you are.
That explains so much now.
I mean,
Vince was an altar boy. Now it makes sense.
Actually, I was never an altar boy, so I never actually liked
the altar.
Damn it,
boy.
Can't stand
Metal Mike is not a fan of the group name. As also someone who came up with a semi-religious background, I always kind of enjoy that dark twist on religious thematics in wrestling. Ministry of Darkness, Final Testament, Judgment Day, all of those things.
That's what you wanted Judgment Day to be.
Fairly pronounced. That's what they were supposed to be when Edge was running it. Now apparently Edge is running Matt Hardy's wife, at least according to her on TikTok.
Yes.
You didn't see that?
Nah.
Like, there's been a whole thing going on with Rebby Hardy on TikTok where she's basically said, like,
I blocked her on
out
TikTok.
right.
That's why I anything.
Oh no, you should unblock her.
So she says she posted a TikTok something along the lines of like, next time Matt Hardy crosses me or fucks with me or something, and it's her like with a shirt up like she's about to show her tits, and then she pulls it down and it's an Edge shirt.
Wow.
Yeah, because
not just an Edge shirt, an 06 Edge shirt from when they wrote that whole storyline together. She did her research enough to go back 15 years on this motherfucker for some shady shit.
I mean, wrote the story based on the real life fact that Matt's girlfriend was fucking Edge, and now his wife might be saying she's going to try to. Good luck with Beth there, though. That's all
I would
saying.
pay to watch Beth and Rebby and fuck even Adam go. You know,
supposedly what had happened is she found a secret cell phone that he had been hiding from her with some not so savory situations. So she's passive aggressively bashing him on TikTok.
Listen, I know Rebby can be a lot on social media and on TikTok. However, if I had that at home, I would not need to go out and find anything anywhere else.
She's also made multiple jokes about them being poly and her being like open to messing around with girls and stuff too. So that's even worse, is if your girl's down to do some funky three-way stuff and you still cheat on your old lady, you are a worse fuckboy than Will Gray circa 2017.
And that's hard to do.
Listen, if you have anyone at home, you should not be texting or having a secret phone, period, because you should be lucky to have anyone at home with you. So that's just my 2 cents.
Have you already gotten married?
In April.
You sound like you've been married for
April
like
5th?
80 years. April 5th.
4th.
So you're getting married during Mania?
Is it during Mania?
No, Mania. So April 5th is Friday. Mania is the 6th and the 7th. So
no, it's the Thursday before Mania.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You should have done it on Friday, because then you could have got married on my birthday to celebrate me on your wedding day, because I've been such an integral part of this relationship between you and Melissa.
Well, Melissa's really big on dates, so we want to get married on October 11th.
4424.
October 11th, 2024, but her cousin's getting married in October. She doesn't want to do that. So we're gonna have our church wedding and the reception in 2025. But she wanted to find a good date. So her whole thing is 4/4/24, like Matt was saying.
Cute.
So she was looking for a date. So, and she was also trying to find the month where like no one's birthday was close. That, or like if someone's birthday was close, they didn't care. So yeah.
TC said, "Preach, Vincent." Bakley said, "Note to self: hide secret phone so Will doesn't find it."
Oh my god. Bakley, you're the you need Jesus. You need to be an altar boy.
I'm gonna finish off my AEW stuff for the night with a spit. I'm spitting the fact that Jericho and Flair were both on Dynamite, and I had to watch a show that featured both those fucks. I have not been a fan of Jericho in AEW, and if the allegations and everything about him are true, even less of a reason to be a fan of him. We know that a lot of the stuff said about Ric Flair over the years is in fact true. And Rick doesn't really see a problem with his actions because
neither does Jericho
then, so it shouldn't be a problem now. I don't think that despite them paying Woo Energy paying and covering whatever, blah, 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 I don't think Ric Flair adds anything to the AEW product being there in any way, shape, or form. I really don't. I don't think it's helping the product. I don't need to see him out there. The only thing it's doing is every time he steps in the ring and chops someone, Katie gets closer to a point on the Deadpool, and I don't need that either now. So, like,
wait, who's in this Deadpool?
Wrestling wise?
Yes.
Ric Flair, Vince McMahon.
No. Like you said, Katie gets closer to winning this Deadpool. Like who's
okay?
Who's
the Deadpool originally. It was me, my best friend John, his girlfriend Caroline, and Jess, and our friend Eric. And then we added Jess 2 years ago, who's another friend of ours. This year we added Kate's mom, and then both Will and Katie had expressed interest in joining. So I threw a tweet out, or I threw a little DM out to them and said, "Hey, if you guys are in, we're going to be drafting," and they both hopped on. So now it is Will, Katie, Terry's and mine as well. Me, Kate's mom, Eric, my first co-host, my best friend John, his girlfriend Caroline, and our friend Jess. So there's 9 of us. And
what do you get when you win?
$200. So everybody whoever loses pays the winner $25. So 8 payments of $25 is $200.
Jesus.
So
that's interesting.
I won this year, but there were only 6 people in, so counting me. So I got 5, so I got 125, which still not nothing. Yeah, I'm not complaining.
You won $100. Yeah, win the win.
Terry's mine. I already have a few memes drafted for when that day is. All right, so yeah, I'm spitting having to see Jericho and Flair on the same show. Vince, spit or swallow?
Where do I want to go here? I'm gonna swallow the actual opening of SmackDown. Poor Cameron Grimes got that ass cut, as Young Kings Wrestling likes to famously put out, by the Bloodline. They try to like basically blackmail or goad Nick Aldis into like canceling the Fatal 4-Way match at the Rumble. And Nick Aldis, goddamn, that beautiful man, and he
stands on business.
Yeah, man. He's not budging. He's like, that Fatal 4-Way is not going anywhere. Matter of fact, he fucks with the Bloodline even more. He's like, you know what? We're going to have a 6-man tag match in the main event because, I'm tired of you guys ruining my main event. So you're going to be in the main event. It's going to be the Bloodline members versus the challengers for Roman's title at the Rumble. Roman's not there. Paul Heyman shook. So then he either has the option of trying to find someone to team with Bloodline members, the Uso brothers, Solo and Jimmy, and the process of the entire evening of Paul Heyman trying to find someone. He goes up to Bobby Lashley. He ain't about it. He goes up to Carlito. He isn't having it even with the Apple bribe. Pretty Deadly go up to them, go up to him. Weren't aware that it was only one slot that they needed, not a double slot. Fucking hilarious. They attack Randy Orton, make it a tag match to start the thing. Eventually, Randy does come out. They do the Shield triple power bomb on the announce table. All good shit. I love this build. I don't know what made them pivot to go from Randy and Roman singles match to Fatal 4-Way match, but I love this more because it's something we haven't seen in the Roman Reigns title reign. Is a multi-man, like a Fatal 4-Way match. The last time we saw him like have something like this was at WrestleMania between Edge and Daniel Bryan, and he stacked them up and pinned them. So I kind of want to see him stack everybody up and pin them.
Couple notes. Also, Nick Aldis made sure to tell Paul Heyman, I know you think we are, but we're not equals in this conversation.
Yes.
Which I really enjoyed. I've loved Nick Aldis in this role. The only thing I would have done differently is I would have had Nick say, all right, well, if Roman's not here, Paul, you're going to take his place unless you can find someone to take his place.
That would have been great. You're right. That would have been great.
We also had Paul approach Bobby Lashley, who said, listen, the only time I want to be in the ring with the Bloodline is when I'm standing across from Roman Reigns. We had Pretty Deadly offer their services until they heard A, who they were wrestling, and B, that only one of them could be in the match. And then they all of a sudden got busy and had to back out. You mentioned Paul going to Carlito as well.
That was my favorite one.
With the best apple from catering.
Mm-hmm. And then Jimmy and Solo got wrecked after the match. Like Solo came into Samoan Spike Randy after he got the win. He got dropped with a phenomenal forearm, hit with LA Knight's big fucking dick, that BFD, and dropped with an RKO. We got the power bomb through the table. No, it was a great way to end the show and start the show. For Cameron Grimes.
All good shit.
Allison, spit or swallow.
I am going to spit the fact that Bobby Lashley and Montez have matching suits, but like Dawkins' suit is completely different. Like if you're going to present them as this like powerful, like smartly dressed, like business group, like they need to all look.
I mean,
I feel like Doc is always the one that stands out from them. Like he didn't get the memo.
He gets his suits at Burlington.
Not the Burlington suits.
However, I mean, when they were standing in the ring before the crossing happened, I mean, they were all in untucked, top open, button-up T-shirts and dress pants. So kind of fit the vibe more so than usual. I'll give them that.
Here's the thing, though, okay? As somebody who doesn't wear suits a lot, when I do have to dress up that much, I wear khaki slacks and a sports coat, okay? It's not a bad look, but that's what you would expect somebody of my social standing to wear in that situation. Dawkins is a near 7-figure paid wrestler who's in a faction with guys who look like millionaires. He doesn't need to necessarily look like he shops at the same place I do for his suits. That's all I'm saying.
True.
I don't know what's with Ford's one-handed glove.
It was a thing ever since NXT. I think it's a nod to like Michael Jackson, but I don't know why he only does the one.
Him and Bianca did do that Thriller photo shoot deal thing, and
because
video.
Michael Jackson only wore one glove.
So Michael Jackson tribute. Says TC.
Okay.
Yeah, and he has it on one hand. And
okay, cool. Yeah, because he's been doing it since NXT. He's always wrestled with just the one glove. Sometimes he went away with it, but he'd always go back to it at some point.
Yeah. I'm also said that they're not calling them the name that I gave them, which is the Almighty Prophet.
I'm not a fan with the Pride. I'm not a fan of the Pride.
I made
better.
I made a Lion King joke, Pride Rock joke on Getcho, which I
should
think
be the
that was
Almighty Prophets.
I've been saying Almighty Prophets too. It's so easy. It's right there. Like
it's right there.
It's right there. Both me and Allison agree. There you go.
He's bad. I hate you. Getcho.
And he knows it.
Yeah. He's bad. Anyway, Will, spit or swallow.
Me?
Yes.
Did you say Will? Okay.
Yeah.
Will. The most wanted man, Nick Nemeth, showed up tonight in TNA. And he ripped his shirt off. And he said, "Rip."
and he had a TNA like tank top on underneath it. I'm so excited for Nick Nemeth to have, committed to TNA versus AEW. He went, he did his little thing where he was in New Japan. He's going to compete for the global heavyweight championship or whatever. He did the match in Puerto Rico. He went down there to Carlito's dad's operation and did a little bit of a shindig. That was cool. But I like the fact that TNA is kind of waving it around a little bit, and they're bringing like big name guys in. Nick Nemeth is a great get and a great fit for TNA wrestling.
Yeah.
Just, you need to look at the man in the mirror before you start making these jokes. I agree. Shout out to Nick. Excited for him and what he's going to do. He's one of those guys who kind of hovered around that main event spot. He got there, but when he got there, it wasn't really it for him. And then he never
got injured. He got injured the first time.
He got injured, but what I'm saying is, like, after he reached that pinnacle, he hovered around, but never really rose back to, even after, being the last surviving member of that Survivor Series team against the Authority and all of that.
That was probably that, and like his IC
title,
like chase versus the Miz on SmackDown after like
that's mid card.
Yeah, because he did have that title match. Because they try to give him a shot, right? Because he had that WWE World Title match. I think it might have been at Backlash against Dean Ambrose, and it just wasn't that good. And I don't think it's Nick Nemeth's fault. I think it's just a bad pairing. Sometimes like two things just don't mix. I like pizza and I like chocolate, but I don't think I'd put chocolate on my pizza.
Zach Wentz is not, okay. I was gonna say, apparently he's wrestling one of the guys from it's Trailer Park King, Gigi Dolan's boyfriend. Good for you, motherfucker.
I think fiance actually.
We haven't talked any NXT. So first and foremost, our new North American champion cashing in on Dragon Lee after his match against Lexis King, Obafemi, coming out, winning the North American Championship, using that breakout tournament contract and dominating, because again, when you see a man that looks like that, you expect him to come out and dominate, and that's what he did. So I love me some beefcakes.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I think they were supposed to do that last week, but then visa issues, are a bitch. I was mad, but not mad about that at the same time. Like, oh man, Dragon Lee, not another Mexican losing his title. But Bafemi's cool, so that was good. At least it wasn't Logan Paul.
Fair, the last Mexican that lost the North American title lost it to a Mexican. So,
well, Rey Mysterio also lost his title to Logan Paul. So, like, I've seen a lot of my Mexicans lose their titles. Yeah.
Dragon Lee can focus on SmackDown now. There are other people that are on SmackDown that probably shouldn't be there. We'll talk about that in a minute. Vince, spit or swallow?
I think I'm actually going to follow up where you're talking about. I'm a swallow seeing Carmelo Hayes show up in Nick Aldis's office, asking for an opportunity. I think they're doing that slow, gradual call up like they did with Dragon Lee for Carmelo Hayes whenever they wrap up this Trick Mello Gang feud, which I think at this point they need to fucking do it already because they're dragging ass. I know we shit on Tony Khan and AEW's overdrawing of these stories, but this should have been blown up like a minute ago. I get they're trying to do what Stand and Deliver as the match for Trick versus Mello.
I'm with TC. I don't know if I have the same reasons that TC has.
I'm gonna get to that. So, but I'm just swallowing because he's there. I think he fits main roster. He's ready for it. But I am spitting both him and Austin Theory injuring themselves. Hopefully they're doing well. Hopefully they're not gravely injured, especially Mello. That's why I'm spitting.
I'm spitting. That's not what
I know why you're spitting. I know why you're spitting. I just don't care because brand splits don't exist.
It doesn't matter if brand splits exist or not. He is down in NXT. He needs to finish his shit in NXT, not be up here doing shit on SmackDown when he's got business to handle in NXT. And on top of that, I wasn't feeling it when he came out. Like, he did not feel like a top guy. He felt like just another person coming out for a match on SmackDown. He didn't have that confidence in him walking out on the main roster for this match. He didn't have the look or feel of a guy that felt like he was going to be comfortable out there before this match. Then you have the no contest finish with the botched Spanish fly on top of that.
Yeah,
I'm not feeling
know if
Carmelo on
that's his fault,
SmackDown
though.
at all, and I need him to fix their shit. How you gonna dirty Mac your boy from doing his own thing on NXT, but you want to go to SmackDown every week? Exactly.
Maybe you and TC have the same points.
We do.
Yeah.
Both Theory and Mello walked away from the match
Well, that's good. Good to hear.
on their own accord. So
WWE has had a hard time with these transition call-ups as of late. I agree with that. Glad to hear that they both walked away. So props to that.
When was
Allison's
the last
pretty
time they
swell.
did a proper call-up from NXT to main roster?
Royal Rumble?
No, like recent memory, like that since Triple H took over. Like, when was the last successful? Like, oh yeah, they transitioned from NXT to main roster and they did a seamless transition.
They haven't had one.
Yeah.
I'm going to spit something from NXT, and it's kind of like a generalized thing. And I think this is why I have a hard time with NXT is the really cheesy vignettes, like the whole thing with Tiffany and the barn. It's just, I don't know. To me, it's just really cheesy, and I just
it
it's
ain't
too much.
cheesy, Allison.
I understand it's not for everybody. A lot of
It's not
that
my
stuff
bad.
is a lot of that stuff has been going on in NXT since Vince and I were huge fans of the black and gold. It's always been kind of fun for me. A lot of this stuff, I mean, even back like in the heyday of me starting to watch wrestling, this cheesy outside of the ring kind of shit has always kind of appealed to me. So watching Tiffany have to go muck a stall and getting pushed into a water bin and getting all dirty in her fucking pink bikini top and mini skirt and can't walk in her heels and all of that. Like, I don't know. I love the whole thing. It's exactly what I expected, and they delivered on it.
That's a good point that just made. Creed Bros.
But if it was men in that vignette, you wouldn't. I don't think you think the same. But
that's not necessarily true because they've done stuff like that with men. Now,
I guess
it wasn't necessarily outside of the ring, but Triple H had the hog pen match. I enjoyed the shit out of that where he got shoved into the hog pen. The Phineas, the Godwins used to come out and dump slop on people. And again, in the same vein, though it was still centered in the ring, very corny, very gimmicky. Enjoyed that growing up. And that's kind of what I was getting at is that whole stuff I've always kind of enjoyed.
Let me make this point, and I think this will show you where I stand on this whole thing. As much as we may like him because of the man himself and because he's no longer here, the Los Guerreros gimmick, like vignettes of them stealing things and cheating and doing all that stuff is right around the lines of the whole stuff that Tiffany Stratton was doing. It's very cheesy, very similar stuff. Like, you look at all of those, like, all those lines are very fucking cheesy, but they make it fucking work.
Kerwin White.
Ironically enough, one of the vignettes, one of the little lychee and steel things was them going to a golf course and cheating to win the golf course game. So maybe that's where Kerwin White was born, Ashley.
A golf course game.
Golf course.
Game of golf.
It's kind of like, I don't know,
Golf
like when LA Knight and Cameron Grimes were doing whatever they were doing, we were like, Cameron Grimes had to do like all that shit for LA Knight. Like,
Oh,
was
that shit was good.
2 years ago?
Because they had become a butler, yeah.
Yeah, where he was his butler. I was just like,
I liked it.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed everything with the $1 Million Man and Cameron Grimes when Cameron Grimes got his GameStop money and went straight to the moon with his money.
DiBiase.
That whole thing. Yeah.
It was the best Cameron Grimes has been on WWE programming.
So,
like, I like the wrestling on NXT. For me, it's just a little. Take it down like half a peg.
Okay, fair.
William Spitter Swallow.
I am swallowing Trinity's swan song in TNA. She dropped the TNA Knockouts Women's title tonight to Jordan Grace, who won the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match at Bound for Glory. She used it that night to say she was going to challenge for the Knockouts title at Hard to Kill. She came in tonight. She won the title, but the bigger picture here is Trinity winning that, dropping the Knockouts title. Trinity having Sasha and Bayley both in attendance tonight to support her on her way out. And the fact that if everything is looking the way it is, that those three will be reuniting at some point in WWE in probably the near future, depending on which side of the dirt sheets you lean.
Glow Boss Huggers.
Yeah.
On SmackDown versus Damage Control Wolfpack.
PW Insider is leaning towards WWE for Sasha, and Fightful is leaning towards AEW for Sasha. So
Fightful's been on that fucking, Mercedes Moné is going to be in AEW. No, they were saying the same thing with like CM Punk and Cody. They had talks, but it fell apart. And the same thing happened with Mercedes Moné. They're like, they had talks, but they fell apart. Like, they both are going to return.
If I'm reading this right, Wolfpack in Japanese is Okami no Mure. So,
Okami no Mure.
I think I'm reading that right. I could be wrong. I could listen to it, but I'm not going to. Everyone was saying they hope that, we don't know if when she comes back she'll be Naomi or she'll be Trinity. They hope that she gets to keep her name. I mentioned during She Elite that she was Trinity on Total Divas, so that is kind of part of the canon. They're also hoping she keeps her current theme music that she had in TNA. If she does, Royal Rumble season's right around the corner. Might be a great time to, see a lot of these. We didn't get a lot of the surprises and returns that we wanted last year. So this year could be a big thing for that and would be much appreciated. There's a lot out there.
There are more options for the women than they are for the men's Rumble for surprise returns. Plus, Naomi/Trinity has now become the Kofi Kingston for the women's Rumble in like recent years. So that'd be another fun reason to have her included in the match.
I don't want to rain on anybody's parade because I'm a huge Trinity Fatu fan. I've been singing her praises since her arrival in TNA Impact. There's no question there. If she comes back to WWE, there's a never say never mentality in wrestling, and I will always say that. There is a better odds than not, I would say above 90% chance she will come back as Naomi. WWE will not sign a whole new set of copyright and trademarks and everything that goes into it, so that way she can keep that name.
I'm curious.
They don't have to because that's her name.
Yes, I completely agree. But if she comes in as Trinity Fatu and then she leaves as Trinity Fatu, then she can take anything she did in WWE under that name with her.
Yeah.
No,
and they're not going to be okay. Yeah.
They're not going to let her do that.
I'm curious to see what they're actually going to do with Naomi if she does make her way back to the E, because they could just go back to the Field of Glow Naomi. They can call her Naomi because she's going to be called Naomi, but make her Trinity Fatu version of Naomi. Or maybe they do a compromise. Maybe it's Naomi Fatu and they actually like acknowledge that she's part of the bloodline, and maybe she's a woman in the bloodline, and maybe that's how you continue spicing up and seasoning the bloodline storyline. Regardless of the fact, like, I'm so excited for the Rumble, and I'm so excited to see more of Trinity. Love
Naomi
that
Fatu is that would be more likely than them allowing her to stay Trinity.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do this a little differently because I still have a shit ton of stuff on my list that I didn't get to. So
Got maybe like 2.
Allison's gone. I'm gonna wrap up everything I have from NXT. I'm swallowing Takeda versus Blair, opening up the show. I'm spitting the fact that Braun Breaker's still doing a spear. I hate that. I've hated that.
At least it's not a gore.
That, even though it is, according to some people, our boy Kyle, the best spear of a B illiterate person in WWE. Lyra coming out to celebrate being champ. Lola and Elektra trying to rain on her parade. Lila asking Lola when she's going to stop shaking her ass on Instagram and cash in for the tag title shot. Then Lyra offers her a title match right now, gets jumped. Tatum Paxley makes the save. I realize that Tatum Paxley reminds me more of Daphne than she does Victoria, which, again, we talked about sticking your dick in crazy. Will, you and I did. That's a thing. We were there, and it was that.
Oh, man.
The family retain over OTM with our girl Rizzo giving the assist. Love her for that. JC, in my mind, canon, is organizing a bikini car wash for Chase U. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. She had all the girls from Chase U out there. She had a plan to raise money. And growing up, when I grew up, the only way for girls in college to raise money is bikini car wash. So that's the thing. It's going to happen. And last but not least, originally a swallow, but now a spit, knowing that Cora is injured. Gigi losing to Cora. I had it as a swallow because I know you can't push really both of them, and Cora came back, so I was happy that we were seeing Cora get some momentum. But now that she's hurt, it really only hurts Gigi, and it doesn't really help Cora now that Gigi's taking another L in the battle for the lockers.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
That's a whole lot of words, Mateo.
Anything in there that particular? Spears, Lyra Valkyria?
I like the team of Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin, and I hope they win the whole thing.
I like that team. It seems to fall into the routine of WWE playing it was like the Bianca Charlotte thing when they tagged for a second. It was like the Bruiserweight and
they do that a
Lord
lot.
Baltimore in the Dusty Rhodes Cup a couple years ago. So I like it. I like the way they're going with it. There's usually that one sleeper team that's just thrown together that makes a deep run in it or wins it that, ends up being a fan favorite. And this might be it this go around.
They need a team name. That's what I need them. They're Lone Wolves, Pirates, maybe the Pirate Dogs, or like.
Okay, enough about this. No, it's terrible. I don't want to see them win. I hate doing this. Put a fucking tag team. Let a tag team win the Dusty Cup. Vince, spit or swallow?
Gonna stay in NXT because it's probably the only thing that I'm swallowing that you haven't mentioned already, Matt. And that's the little vignette that they had with Tyler Bate and Butch. And oh no, wait, that was on SmackDown.
Yeah,
so
SmackDown.
Never mind. I'm gonna pivot over to SmackDown because I'm done with all my NXT spits and swallows. And I'm gonna swallow the vignette that they had of Tyler Bate and Butch. And essentially the way I interpret it was Tyler Bate basically talking to Butch and like, hey man, let's be a tag team. I can maybe with you and me, you can finally figure out who you want to be, how you're gonna get to that person. They're trying to get Bruiserweight Pete Dunne back, and there was a lot of dropping of name and who's that person gonna be, what version and whatnot. It looked like Peter Dunne or Butch was going to go ahead and say something that did a Sopranos cutoff at the end before he said a word. So I'm intrigued if next week we're going to see Pete Dunne, Peter Butch Dunne, whatever. So I'm intrigued.
I will swallow if that's the case. I agree with everything you said. I got the exact same feeling that this was what they were hinting at. This is something that months ago we heard was supposed to be a thing and never came to fruition. Now that Brawling Brutes are done and British Strong Style is back.
Yeah.
If that's where they go, I will swallow, but I'm also holding reservations because I've been cock teased by the E before, and I don't like getting cock teased. I hate being blue balled. So when it comes to fruition, I will swallow it that
Facts. I'm just swallowing it because they could lean away from the Tantric Tyler and then leave from the Butch thing in the organic, like logical way, where it's not just like all of a sudden he's Pete Dunne now. Like they're giving you a reason why he's no longer Butch, why he's going back to this past persona. They're giving you history. There's a story here, and I love it.
Yeah.
I also swallowed my notes say Tyler Bates and Bruiserweight because I 100% agree. I felt like that's the obviously going back to Pete Dunne and that kind of that gimmick. So I'm here for it.
Will, you got any more spits or swallows?
I got one more.
I have Tyler Bates, Bruiserweight got knocked off. From Raw, Disco Ninja Sex Party retains Katana and Caden versus the
Chelsea
Piper and Chelsea. Yeah. Really, really enjoy that. I like the fact that they're starting to establish some good female tag teams in that division.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for Alba Fire and Isla Dawn to come back, and
they get in a title match next week on SmackDown.
Bingo. See, they're giving us what we want. Ciampa getting the sneaky win on Finn on Raw. I thought that was super cool for the way all of that went down with R-Truth getting the match, and they thought it was going to be a tag match, and he's like, no, it's Finn versus Ciampa, and then everybody gets involved, and Ciampa still steals the win out from underneath them. So I thought that was good fun booking. That was it for Raw. So I almost made it to the end without bringing up WWE. Almost.
You did.
Almost.
For me, for Raw, I've got the Becky Nia stuff. I know that Allison would be swallowing Nia if she was here because she's been a huge fan of Nia Jax. The Nia interview with Cole threatens to break Cole's face, says she's going to run through 29 other women. It doesn't matter if she picks Rhea or Io. No one can stop her. Rhea comes out, reminds Nia who threw her out last year and who the Smackin' It Raw Best Ass of 2023 winner was. Nia says Rhea's afraid to go one-on-one, so when she wins the Rumble, she's choosing Rhea. So everything Rhea Nia, big fan of that. And also Cody defeating Shinsuke in the street fight. That's been a really cool, fun story. You guys keep throwing obstacles in Cody's way, and he's knocking them out of the park. So
that was a
shout out to
fantastic
Cody.
match. Yeah.
Was the Rhea stuff your last thing for Raw, Vince?
No, my last thing was actually for SmackDown, and I'm swallowing the match between Bianca Belair and Bayley and the ever-growing tension and build-up for that story over on SmackDown. The gaslighting from Dakota Kai. Clearly, Bayley doesn't understand Japanese because they're shit-talking about her behind her back or in front of her, I guess in this case, Mean Girl style. They probably have a burn book with Bayley's name all over it somewhere. But I love it. Bayley, the moment in the match that I really enjoyed the most is when Bayley tossed Bianca in front of Damage Control, tried to distract the ref, thinking that Damage Control was actually going to attack Bianca and try to get the upper hand for her. They didn't do that. She still lost the match. She's starting to have some sympathy being built up in the eyes of the casual fan. Not Matt, because Matt believes that, she fucked with Io and now she's finding out. Which he's not wrong, but still, Pamela Martinez for 2024 Women's Royal Rumble winner and soon to be LWO member in the future. That's my goals.
That is a hell no. So anyway, thank you. There goes that. My last thing, spitting Logan Paul threatening a lawsuit against KO like a bitch.
Yeah. Allison.
Hi.
Welcome back, Allison. Just in time as we wrap up this episode of Smackin' It Raw. Allison, what was your favorite show you watched this week?
I'm gonna say my favorite show this week was Raw, because honestly it was the only one I watched all the way through this week due to other things going on. But typically Raw holds my attention more than the rest. So.
Vince?
That's tough because I had a hard time really fully being invested in everything. But I'm gonna go with Raw just because it had Punk, Drew, you had the Judgment Day stuff, and a solid main event with Cody and Shinsuke.
Billiam.
NWA Power. No, I'm just kidding. Favorite show of the week, hands down, Hard to Kill. Came in the 11th hour tonight, right before we went on the air. Fantastic show, great start to TNA for the new regime and the new era.
Can't wait to watch it.
And I'm going to agree with Allison and Vince and go Raw as well. It's the one that I took the most notes for. Maybe NXT. It was kind of a mix between the two. But with everything you guys talked about, I'm going to go Raw as well. Allison, would you like to plug yourself for everybody? Or do you want Will to plug you?
You can find me on Botched, Spots, and Chair Shots on Thursdays for Box Bitch Trivia and on Sundays for Botched, Spots, and Chair Shots. Actually, it's a radio, not bot. You know what I mean. Whatever. Anywho, you can also find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at JustAGirl918.
Thank you. William, where can they find you?
First and foremost, Mateo, as always, I want to thank you for allowing me to be the honorary use of all things Creation World. If you're interested in my shenanigans elsewhere, you can check the link tree at the Will Gray. You can find everything that I do for Botch Bots and Cheer Shots, Rivet City Radio, and my writing profile for Last Word on Sports. 211.
Vince.
Go subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/SESVince. Turn on bell notifications over there, or go watch some past videos and be weary of or anticipate new content showing up on my YouTube channel. So there's that. And then just follow me on social media at SESVince, like the hoodie says.
And as always, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Matt Ridders, at MATTRDDR, for your wrestling content, at Getting Off for your horror content, and everywhere else on social media at Smackin It Raw, whether it is TikTok, Threads, Instagram, or Blue Sky, not Sky Blue, for the Pornhub Poppy, currently anyway, until the race is over this year.
There's no
Danny
fucking
Delgado,
race,
my
man.
friend Vince, the Will Gray, and the boss bitch herself, Allison. I am the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter, and this has been your #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub. Thank you for quickly taking care of that, Vince.
I saw where it was going. I'm like, no, get this shit out of here. I'm glad Allison missed all of that because Jesus.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Somebody spelled a racial slur out one letter at a time in the comments.
They didn't get a chance to finish it, thankfully.
Yeah, we got him out of here before he completely finished it. But fucking YouTube. Matt Ritter post show potty break. I'll be back. You guys have fun. I'll have the headphones on. I'll be listening.
Okay.
Cool. So, Will, what the fuck, man? Like, why are you trying to comfort me in the new year?
I felt like it's I don't know. I felt like ruffling some feathers. That's all.
Listen, man. I like O.J. Simpson once said. No, R. Kelly once said, "I'm fighting for my fucking life out here, and I fought for my fucking life out there. I retained the title that I should have never had to put up in the first place, and now here you are trying to manifest and force your way into a race that's non-existent, sir. How dare you? But you'll flirt with me in every other occasion. Like
I will, because I love you. But just because I love you doesn't mean that every race needs to rely on an archaic two-party system. Everybody needs a third-party option. I'm the third-party option for Pornhub Poppy. I'm the Green Party for the Pornhub Poppy race. I am the Ralph Nader of Pornhub Poppies.
I can't stand you. You just want to press my buttons is all you want to fucking do. You don't care about no fucking like nothing else. Trying to gaslight me.
She wants you to pick her.
Oh my god.
Come here.
Where did Maxie go?
Oh goodness. Come here. Come on.
I'm assuming she went and rolled up with Melissa. No, she didn't? Oh. Maxie, where the fuck are you? I hear your bell. I know you're out there somewhere. What did I say?
I found Penny.
I'm like, where the fuck are you?
I have 52,000 channel points on Creation World.
Really?
I have. Hang on. It'll tell me. Ouch.
I don't think I watch on Twitch anymore. Most, if any, streams, just because
I have 16,000.
I'm not really a fan of like the ads.
There you are. Hello. Hello.
I shut Chester and Daisy in the bedroom for
What?
Melissa picked up Maxie, and all you hear is like meow.
Get off my person.
But that's the one thing I do love about Maxie. She's very chill. She'll let you pick her up, even if you're a complete stranger to her. She'll let you.
Kelly and OJ Simpson are the last people that you want to quote ever, especially running for pseudo political office on this channel. To be clear.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Also, John and I were both huge Ralph Nader supporters back in grade school when we did a mock. We were the only Ralph Nader supporters back in grade school when we did the mock vote in grade school for who we'd want to see. It was me and John, and that was it. We were pro Nader.
I voted for Nader in my first presidential election I was eligible for.
Okay. Melissa woke up. We finished the podcast. We haven't ate, so we're going to cook at 1 a.m. because we don't have to get up and do shit tomorrow early. So,
okay.
I'm going to sign off. I love you, Allison. Love you, Will, despite Will making my life a living hell. Allison is...
Since you didn't move this week, I can expect you to be gone the next 2 weeks, right?
Possibly, but like I said, just like expect me not to show up, but like don't be surprised if I do show up because like depending on how the move goes, how much I'm moving, because I have till the end of the month and we're not really in that big of a rush. And again, depending on how much I get done prior to Saturday and then the day of Saturday, I might still be able to show up. Then there's the whole matter of internet connection, like if it'll be good with Melissa's Wi-Fi or if I can transfer over my service. So it's up in the air, but plan for my absence for the next rest of the month.
I will do that. Also, I know it is late for Will, and Allison was yawning during the show, so she was not expecting to come on. So I think we'll just end it here. I'll let everyone go. I have a feeling I'm going to get up early with Zoe tomorrow. So Will and Allison, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.
Love you guys.
You guys came. And everyone watching, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. Real quick, vote. Are we going to go with Where My Pussy At? Vince is probably going to have to use a cat emoji, or Paquete de Lobos?
Paquete de Lobos.
Yeah.
Paquete de Lobos.
Paquete de Lobos.
Picture? Any nominations for a picture?
You should use Braun Breaker and Pirate Baron Corbin, and then have them anamorphing into a wolf.
How the fuck am I gonna do this?
I don't know.
Paquete de Lobos. No, I'm just kidding. You know.
Oh man. All right. We'll see what I do. All right, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Night.